Hello, welcome to our podcast series on Intensify. And today I want to discuss how to come back after a setback. Yes, how to come back after a setback. Many times in our pursuit for success, we suffer setbacks or failure that appears to weaken our resolve to move on. And our conversations so far in this podcast series have been carefully crafted to help you to develop staying power in the face of adversity. And I want to encourage you to take time to listen to these things over and over again. And anytime you are going through any challenge, just come back and listen all over again. You will find the answers to what you need to do. Now, it would appear in life that before there is a step up to ascend to the desired success, there are usually sets up and setbacks. Anytime you are expecting a step up, there are usually setups and setbacks. Now, let me ask you a question. What setups and setbacks are you currently experiencing in your life? For setups, are you experiencing some form of betrayal? Are there people who should stand by you, but they're trying to pull you down? Are there colleagues or friends and families who are constantly stabbing you at the back? What about setbacks? Are there constant battles ahead of you? Have you lost a major relationship, a major asset, or job or contract? Are you currently confused, not knowing the next step to take? Is there a major stumbling block that is preventing you from the next level? This is something that is common in life. Even Jesus Christ had his own setup and setback before he was stepped up to sit at the right hand of God. One of his closest disciples, Judas, betrayed him. That was a setup for the next level. Anytime there is a big step up ahead, they are usually set up and setback arranged in front of you. And whenever you see a setup or a setback, just remember this is a sign that there is a step up just after that phase. Just like I said in the last episode, in school, we usually go through incremental progress. But when it's time to move to the next level or the next class, there will be an examination. And that's how life is. Jesus Christ had Judas Iscariot as the setup, and the cross appeared to be a setback for where he wanted to get to. Moses had Pharaoh as a setback. David had Goliath in front of him. That was supposed to be like a setback. David had his brothers. He had Joseph. He had his brothers. He had Potiphar's wife, waiting for him in front of him. One of the guys shared the testimony in our church recently. His name is Michael. He talked about how he failed interviews, applied for job interviews and failed. And those setbacks eventually helped him, to come back to the world. Now he's working in a very massive multinational organization. Another guy shared his testimony with me. He was fired in his current place of work, and being fired made him humble. He stepped back, reviewed himself, did some work on himself, and now he landed an international job. He's so thankful that he was fired in that job. Bill Gates saw his first company go down. His first company actually went down. You can read about it. Walt Disney was fired for lack of creativity. And look at Disneyland today. At Harvard, when I was at Harvard Business School, we did a case study on Steve Jobs. You know that in 1985, Steve Jobs was actually forced out of Apple. But 12 years later, he had a comeback. But this time around, they had learned a lot, and it took Apple to enviable heights. There are major things that you are going through that appears as though there are setups or setbacks. But these things are meant to help you to come back to something great. But for that to happen, There are two things you should guard against whenever you experience setups and setback, which is fear and offense. That's the devil's plan. He wants to use fear and offense to bring you down, but if you don't allow it, that thing will become a comeback for you to get to the next level. Let's talk about fear. According to a research by EMC, 84% of people hold on to irrational fear. And this is keeping a lot of people from achieving their goal and their next level of success. Now, 84% is massive. That is 4 out of every 5 person are not able to move to the next level because of fear. There is a common acronym that I like for fear, which is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. We need to go past fear. I love what George Adai once said, that everything you've ever wanted is sitting on the other side of fear. On the other side of fear. The setup was meant to help you or to make you not to try again, but don't give up. That setback was meant to hinder you from trying again, but don't give up. The antidote for fear is action. Action and courage. Keep moving, regardless of what you fear. Then offense is something we need to guard against when we experience setup and setback. The reason for this is because many times people are involved in your setback. They are involved in your setup, and you have to be careful so they are not offended by them. Fear makes you look downward. Offense makes you to look backward. Because offense, you are looking at someone that does something to you. Oh my God, this person hurt me. This person hurt me. So you keep looking back. Fear, you are looking down. But what you should be doing is to be looking forward and upward. Looking forward and upward. One of the things that helped me to stay away from offense is that I see people that are trying to do me harm as being used to accelerate my progress. Because I just learned from Joseph when he said in Genesis 50 verse 20, he told his brother, say, you intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position to save the lives of many. Your setback is God's setup for your comeback. And it is important you see it that way. You should never give up because of people who have tried to set things up in front of you or try to do something to bring you down. God never promised you that you will not have setup and setback. What he promised you is that he will step you up despite all those things. In Isaiah 43 verse 2, it says, when you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through the rivers of difficulty, you will not be drowned. When you walk through the fire of opposition, you will not be burned. The flames will not consume you. So you are not going to be burned. In fact, what you are going through is just a rehearsal for the big show. I've come to realize that many times God passes us through rehearsals, just like choirs rehearse. In church, I see choir rehearse before the main big presentation. And that's what God does. Why do you rehearse? You don't want to mess up on the big stage. So what God does that you will go through some little challenges, some little setup and setback so that you can rehearse. And you won't mess up when the big stage have been presented to you. The comeback is always stronger than the setback. And that's what David said. He says, what I'm going through now, he said, Goliath, I've rehearsed with the bear, I've rehearsed with the lion, I'm going to defeat you. So it's like a drama or a movie or choristers, they all rehearse. You too, you go through rehearsals. Those setups, they are rehearsals. Sometimes I've seen people that went through bad relationship and they are crying that, oh, this guy jilted me. That was a rehearsal. Maybe God wants you to appreciate the next person that is coming ahead of you. He wants you to, to take that person, very seriously and do what you need to do. Where I work now, before I got that job, I actually went through another kind of company, exactly the same company and the kind of organization, although that one is number 4. The one I work with is number 1 in what we do globally. Now, that number 4, when I went through that process, they asked me several questions. And after going through all the interview questions and stages, 4 stages, they said I was not successful. It was like, wow, really? How come? But guess what? When I went to this one I am currently, every question they asked me in this in this, except one question they had asked me when I did the interview of the previous organization. So that was just a rehearsal for what I'm enjoying today. Never doubt in the dark what God told you in the light. Never allow contradictions to make you forget that elevation is just next door. Never allow setups and setbacks to prevent you from your setup. Are you going through a setback today? Use the opportunity to revisit your purpose, to reframe your mindset, and to re-energize your mission. Stop wallowing in self-pity and focus on where you are going to. There is a comeback waiting for you. And that comeback will take you to a place of greatness. I hope this has blessed you, and if it has, please share with your family and friends. Invite them to be part of this series. And if it's your first time listening, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.